One of the things that I hear all the time from my clients is how frustrated they are with helping their kids with their homework, which is why I don't. Right now, especially right now, we are in quarantine because of COVID. And I hear from so many people that are so frustrated because now they've got the added responsibility of helping their kids with homework because they're doing online schooling. And I think to myself, well, it's not wonderful. It's a frustration I don't feel because I never helped my kid with his homework. He's 12. So we've had a couple of years of homework. And that's kind of met with some controversy from time to time. Here's the reason why, because someday I want to be an empty nester. Someday I want my child to go off and go to college and raise, whatever his idea of a family looks like. I want him to go off and do that so my husband and I can do our thing, right? And one of the ways that's going to happen is to make sure he actually leaves the house. And one of the ways that's actually going to happen is to make sure that he graduates high school. And I think that we've become such a society of people that wrap their children in bubble wrap and do everything for them. And then when they get to the age of when the expectation comes that they're supposed to get out of the house, they don't, right? They can't because we're trying to push them out of the house and they're not an adult yet. And this is one of the things that I teach my clients how to do, how to establish those boundaries so that someday they can push the little birdie out of the nest. My name is Heather Morrison, and I'm a mindset mentor and a confidence crusader. And I teach entrepreneurs how to amplify their voice, their value, and their action so they can show up boldly in their business and unapologetically. One of the things we talk about is just that, is building boundaries. So now that I'm working from home as well, my son knows that unless there's blood, flood, or fire, he is not to disturb me when my curtain is closed. I don't have a door, so it's a curtain, right? Because I have things that I need to get done during the course of my day. And he has things that he needs to get done in the course of a day. And one of those things is homework. And here's the thing, if he comes to me every time he needs help with homework and I just give it to him freely with no expectation that he's going to do it, he learns that he can come to me and I'm going to give it to him freely and there's no expectation that he does it. However, if I stop and say, listen, buddy, I know that you are smart enough to figure this out. And if you're not smart enough to figure this out, that you at least know where to find those resources to help you figure this out. Right? He has access to the internet. He has access to the teacher. He has access to his buddies. If I don't allow him to go through the frustration of figuring these things out, he's never going to have the legs, the resiliency, the grit to actually go out and do those things on his own. Here's a great example. So there was an experiment called the biosphere in Arizona, and it was a big, huge literal sphere that they had created, and it was a science for science experimentation. And they recreated the atmosphere within this biosphere, within this bubble. And they brought in landscaping, and they brought in nature, and they brought in animals, and they brought in scientists. So they were trying to recreate the outside world inside this bubble. Well, one of the things they didn't count on is that they had all these trees that kept falling over because they had planted trees. What they realized is that there was no wind inside this biosphere. And if there was no wind, there was no resistance for the trees, and they didn't grow a root system. So they fell over, which I find fascinating. I had no idea that the wind was needed to create the roots in a tree so it didn't fall over, but it makes complete, perfect sense, right? And this is the same thing with kids. If they don't develop that grit and that resiliency now, when the price tag is low and the only thing we're talking about is homework, then how do we expect them to have that grit and resiliency when they move out of the house? And so I try to teach my clients that these are teachable moments. First, we greet them with empathy. Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy. Yeah, that sounds like it's a really frustrating issue for you. How do you think you're going to solve it? Right? This pushes it back to them. And I tell you, this is not something that you can use just with children. This is something you can use with your spouse. This is something you can use with your clients, right? So if you constantly have those clients that are calling you and asking you for an answer to a question that might be as simple as them going on the website you created for your clients, but you continually provide that answer for them, well, then they know that they don't have to go on the website and go find the answer for themselves. They can just call or text you, which creates more issues for you, right? It creates more challenges and time suck for you. And it also doesn't do what you're trying to do, which is empower your clients to do it on their own, right? So when we're raising children, we need to give them roots and wings. We need to give them roots stable home environment, right? And this is what you can provide to your clients as well. I got you. You don't have enough faith for you. I got you. I'll hold your faith for you. You don't know how to do something. I'll provide the tools for you to learn how to do those things. And then we give them wings, which is what we should be giving our clients as well. You shouldn't be bringing a client into your business expecting that you're going to have them in your business for the next 18 years. Your whole point is to bring them in. And then if you're a service provider, launch them out eventually, right? Or if you're providing products and goods, to launch them to the next product, right? So when I tell people that I don't do homework with my child, I don't help him with his homework. Sometimes that's met with a little resistance, and sometimes that's met with a little, how dare you, what kind of mother you are. I assure you I'm an amazing mother. But there are certain things that I don't want to rob him of, those learning opportunities. I don't want to rob him of that, because then I don't want to have to push him out the door to 18 or 23 or 30 or whatever that is nowadays. I don't know. And say, okay, now go and be an adult. Now you go figure it out. I've done it all for you up until this point, but now you go figure it out. We're doing a huge disservice to kids these days, right? So again, this works tremendously well with spouses and with clients as well. So what's an opportunity in your business or in your life where you can create a learning opportunity for someone else and offload it off your plate, so we can get rid of this martyr mentality of, I have to do everything. Well, then stop doing everything, right? Push that back on them. That's their responsibility. I hope this has served you. Again, my name is Heather Morrison with Bold Beyond Belief. And I hope that you find your voice and your value and your action this week so you can show up boldly in your business unapologetically. Bye for now.